Welcome back to the Diamond K Show, of course, here on radioonfire.com, the diamondkshow.com. Radio on Fire talks to America through digital broadcast and social media content. We are a rising voice and a media platform generating over 350,000 viewers and listeners per month, from breaking news, politics, celebrity info, sports talk, pop culture, and so much more. Radio on Fire keeps our audience covered. And again, election season upon us. So much going on in the world of politics. The president continues to push the envelope. And I know that many of his supporters are going to make excuses for his illegal behavior. That's right, I said it, illegal behavior. The president has begun to urge residents of critical battleground states, citizens of this country, to try and vote twice in the November 3rd election. Once by mail and once in person. This is outrageous, and he's done a lot of outrageous things. This is illegal, and he's done, arguably, some illegal things in the past. But this right in video, camera, I mean, we have audio, all of that. And it is definitely, bare minimum, a potential act of voter fraud by the president. Here's the quote. He said, "Let them send it in and let them go vote," Trump said yesterday in North Carolina. And if the system is as good as they say it is, then obviously they won't be able to vote in person. This is supposedly self-proclaimed the law and order president, urging, because he's so nervous, so scared of losing, he's urging voters, the alleged, supposed, fake law and order president, encouraging this. This was a Democrat? Oh my gosh. Republicans will be losing their minds right now. But I can just see you Trump supporters coming up, typing some type of, fake news, CNN, MSNBC, the normal stuff that you say. Whatever. This is on video. And, some others are going to say he was trying to be facetious. He's making a joke. But he said it again and again. And he has said it in the state of Pennsylvania as well. But let's continue. Trump has repeatedly asserted without evidence, because he's scared of losing, because losing for him could be a day of reckoning. It could be something that is finally forcing him to face the the results, the deserved results of his illegal activity. So he claims that mail-in voting, even though he does mail-in voting, even though Melania does mail-in voting, even though Ivanka does mail-in voting, even though Jared Kushner does mail-in voting, anybody else does mail-in voting, is going to be some type of massive fraud. Even though Trump has now fallen so low that he is encouraging fraud. So when he loses, he's going to try to say the whole thing is fraud. So at a rally tonight, Trump repeated the call for voters to go to polls, even though they had ballots mailed to them and suggested that Democrats were going to try to steal the election by manipulation. If you don't see by now, these are the movements and actions of a desperate, desperate man. Trump said this tonight in Pennsylvania, a very key swing state. You have to make sure your vote counts because the only way they're going to beat us is by doing that kind of stuff. Voting more than once in an election is illegal, let me remind people. In a state like North Carolina, it is a felony, not only to do it, but also to induce others to do so. The felon in chief, is that his new name? Ballots are due to be mailed out in North Carolina tomorrow. It is outrageous. But Democrats, if you do nothing, then that's just what was going to happen. For so long, Democrats have sat by, sat on their hands, clutched their pearls, been outraged, but did nothing. Now he is encouraging voters to break the law in order to help him sow chaos in America's election. I want people to vote. I do. Make sure you go and vote, but don't do it twice. Do it once. Now, you Trump supporters that think that the president has your back, you try to vote twice. Don't think you're going to get some pardon, okay? Do not vote twice. Trump's campaign in the White House later denied that what he said meant to tell people to vote twice, even though you can hear the words coming out of his mouth. Kayleigh McEnany told Fox News, of course, that the president is not suggesting anyone to do anything unlawful. According to the spokeswoman for the White House, she said what he said very clearly there is make sure your vote is tabulated, and if it is not, then vote. What? In a series of tweets this morning, Trump again urged his supporters to vote early by mail and then follow up attempting to vote in person, completely contradicting what Kayleigh McEnany said. Your president, the felon in chief, said this: on election day or early voting, go to your polling place to see whether or not your mail-in vote has been tabulated, counted. He wrote, if it has, you will not be able to vote and the mail-in system should work properly. If it has not been counted, vote. Yeah. This is a disaster. This is a disaster. And I don't know how long it's going to take for America to recover from the Trump presidency. Some states are going to begin counting mail-in ballots 2 weeks before election date. Others do not begin counting them until the election date. In some cases, after polls close. What the president is suggesting will cause a disaster. Twitter placed some warnings over Trump's tweets for violating its rules. And of course, election integrity is something that Trump repeatedly violates. Facebook also placed a new label on Trump's post in which it said that voting by mail has a long history of trustworthiness in the U.S., and the same is predicted this year. I don't know why they don't take a stronger action against the president. You know, it is, I mean, he consistently pushes the envelope too far. Voting twice is a felony. Voting twice is a felony. Facebook also said that it is going to remove the video of Trump talking about voting twice if people shared it without any captions or context. A spokesman said that Facebook has not yet identified or removed such versions of the video. So until it happens, it's just talk. I definitely want to stress that voting twice in an election is a felony. Okay. And it is serious business to suggest that you do take these actions. It is amazing. Instead of trying to work for the American people, instead of trying to sow some of the division, instead of trying to put things in place to mitigate this pandemic, instead of trying to help the American people as they suffer through this economic downturn, he thinks that the good strategy is to continue to sow doubt into the American election. Just blow the whole thing up. Understand this: the doubt that he has sowed into the election, the mistrust that he has placed in the minds of people, agencies like the FBI and the CDC, the effects of this are going to be felt for years after his presidency is over with, whether he gets reelected or not. The next person coming behind him, whether it's in 4 years or whether it's in January, are going to have to deal with the mess that he has created. A mess. And a mess it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Also, political mail has been delayed in Baltimore before the primary. This story obviously out of Baltimore. About 68,000 pieces of political mail were delayed for up to 5 days upon arriving in Baltimore's mail processing facility ahead of Maryland's June primary. And this is according to an audit. The mail, described as campaign material from a candidate, the stuff that they would have put on the doors if they could have done that. It was sent May 12th and sat unprocessed for almost 1 week before management discovered it. Audits found out earlier this week. Other places: Brooklyn, New York; Charleston, West Virginia; Indianapolis; Oklahoma City; Portland; Santa Clara were also included in the Postal Service's Inspector General audit. So the audit specified that political mail, which is any mail piece created by a registered political candidate, a campaign committee, or a committee of a political party for the political campaign purposes. These audits, mysteriously, of course, they're going to tell you a little bit. They're going to say that it's just a campaign material, but of course, no ballots. That's what they're saying. Though 200 ballots were found untouched in Oklahoma City, and several facilities did not properly verify that the political mail had been processed weeks before the primary. So this is the type of things that are going on. We already have normal dysfunction, and we don't need more dysfunction from the president as it relates to these matters. But as I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. And I will be back tomorrow with more of the program. You can advertise with us and connect your message with our over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month. RadioOnFire.com/advertise is where you go for that. And also follow the show on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. The Diamond K Show drops new episodes daily. RadioFire.com, the DiamondKShow.com. For any booking or media requests, DJDiamondK@gmail.com. And to make any donations to the show, you can do it via Cash App, $ DJ Diamond K. And of course, your donations help us continue to do what we do here on the program, and that's to bring you independent, progressive opinions on politics, social issues, entertainment, and so much more. Until next time, if you see it, then you can be it. It is all about having a vision. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow. Salute.